Okay, let's engage the Level-Or. Oh! Oh my god, you can use this to create triggers. Safari Pedal just released a new plugin which is called Level-Or, and as you can see, it's pretty similar to the original one from Standard Audio. Yes, because it has been made, of course, a collaboration with Standard Audio. So let's say this is a official plugin from Standard Audio about the Level-Or. And as you can see here, I have the original one from Standard Audio, the MKII version, and I have to send a huge thanks to Standard Audio and Funky Junk that sent me this unit together with the Lunchbox to make this video, so I really appreciate the support for my video. So this video is sponsored by Safari Pedals. Huge thanks to Safari Pedals. However, all the opinions about this plugin will be honest as always and will be mine. So let's jump into my 𝙠𝙗. This is the plugin. Is very simple, basically like the real deal here is very the same. As you can see, we have the input, we have the output, we have the switch between level and crunch. We can also set to bypass mode. You have the switch here of the attack between fast, mid or slow, and of course if you use instead the crunch mode, is no more fast, mid and slow, because it's no more a time, it's no more the attack time, but is a low pass filter. So to the fast is disabled, to medium is a pass filter at 15 kHz, and to slow to 8 kHz to tame just a bit the high frequencies. So it's very simple, this plugin, but Safari Pedals made more. As you can see here, we have an addition. You can switch between the MK1, so the original Level-Or, or to MK2. And I'll also compare in this video to the real gear. As you can see, we have a lot more, because we have the tone control, which basically is a tilt EQ, and I'll show you in a moment how it works. And you can also decide to place this tone character pre or post the Level-Or, this Standard Audio Level-Or. This is really interesting because in this way you can push more your frequencies before they will be distorted, let's say, or with the crunch mode or with the level, but you will distort basically the signal with this module, let's say. So you can decide if you want to push more the high frequencies, let's say, to enter into the Level-Or, or if you want to preserve some sort of frequencies after the Level-Or. Alright, but before listen how it sounds, well, let's see also how it behaves. Let's analyze it into my 𝙠𝙗. Here I can also show you the differences between the Level-Or plugin by Safari Pedals and of course the real Standard Audio Level-Or. So let's start analyzing the equalization side, and then we will move to the harmonic side. So right now I'm in bypass mode, and as you can see we have very linear behavior. Let's go now to crunch before. So let's go down, and as you can see, this is what happened to the equalization side when you move the switch to crunch, and when you use, of course, the input. As you can see, I'm pushing more the sub frequencies. As you can see, let me lower with the output a bit so we can see better. So with the input, as you can see, we are basically creating more harmonics. We will see in a moment. But on the equalization side, you will listen that the sound become bigger, because as you can see, we are pushing a lot the sub frequencies, as you can see. And moving, of course, the switch of the attack to the crunch side, basically we are cutting, of course, the high frequencies. So to mid, we are cutting to the 15 kHz, if I remember well. To slow, instead, we are cutting to the 8 kHz. And it's also changing a bit the behavior of the equalization, as you can see. So with the input, basically, we are pushing only these sub-frequencies, mainly, let's say. If I choose the MK1, it's changing a bit the equalization, always in the lower frequencies. So MK2 is a bit more aggressive than the MK1, as you can see. Now, let's use only the tone. So this is a tilt EQ. So let me show you. When I push here, I'm pushing and tilting more to the high frequencies and just lower to the lower frequencies. But as you can see, there is the mid part here that is static. Changing it, you can push more the low frequencies or the high frequencies. This is very interesting if you want to push more the signal before the standard audio leveler. Let's now switch to the level. So let me go again here to 0, and let's go now to level. Let me lower a bit the output so we can see, of course, the signal is always linear. Even if I push more with the input, it's always linear. Okay, nothing happens here. The most interesting behavior is on the crunch side. Now let's see how it behaves the real deal. So it's pretty linear, and as you can see, we have some cut here, gentle cut. Now let's go to crunch, and as you can see, the behavior is pretty similar to the level-or, even if here we have a gentle cut on the super low end. Now let's push more with the input, and as you can see here, the behavior is different. We are pushing the entire equalization. As you can see, pushing more, you can see basically this very interesting behavior of the equalization, because we are introducing distortion, of course. So the equalization is distorting. Here you can see also the cut. As you can see here, is more emphasized. As you can see here, too fast is basically disabled. No any cut is going on here. Now to 15 kilohertz is very gentle here, or to 8 kilohertz, again, very gentle. And the inputs, basically, it's pushing more the crunchness in the overall, basically, equalization, not only to the low end. Now let's switch to the level. Let me higher a bit the output. As you can see, this is the equalization that we have when you are limiting basically your signal. So we have very smooth signal here on the equalization side. If I increase the input, basically I'm squashing a bit the low frequencies, as you can see. So I'm introducing more low frequencies. Of course, now it's more interesting to see the harmonics. So let's see the harmonic side. Okay, so as you can see, I'm generating a frequency at 1 kilohertz. Let's now engage the level-or. Let's go now to the level switch. As you can see, we have some harmonics here. Let's use more inputs, and I'm pushing basically the 3, 5, so we are pushing the odd harmonics here, as you can see, all the way up. You can also engage more output. Let's choose, okay, if I choose fast, we have more harmonics, slow, lower harmonics. Let's switch to MKII, fast, more harmonics, medium, and slow. So we have more harmonics, of course, with fast, because we are attacking faster the signal. Now let's switch to the real deal so we can compare. Let's go to bypass, always 1 kilohertz. Let's engage to level, and as you can see, the harmonics are different. Both the harmonics, even and odd harmonics. Let me push more with the input. Oh, the behavior is strange. It's lowering. It's very strange. The switch does not change more here. Now let's go to crunch, and here is what is really interesting. So as you can see, we have lots of harmonics. Let me lower a bit, but here we have every harmonics, basically, both the even and the odd harmonics. Let's, with this, basically, I'm preserving the high frequencies or not. Okay, so this is the behavior, also moving the input, and this is a real saturation, so really crunchy. It's a mess basically right now, because as you can see, I'm really high with the crunch. So these are not only gentle harmonics, this is really a saturation, a distortion. And let's see instead with the level-or, so with the plugin. So it is bypassed. Let's go to crunch. Okay, of course we have to go more with the input. And also here is different the behavior. As you can see, the second order harmonic is always lower. So I think it's been changed something here on the plugin, preserving only the odd harmonics. So 3, 5, 7, because as you can see, we have these spikes here on the odd harmonics. Instead, this is the hardware, and as you can see, the behavior is totally different. Also, when I move, it's pretty interesting. So I think something has been changed here, because I feel that we'll emphasize more the odd harmonics. And pushing, of course, with the tone, we can see also the behavior of the tilt EQ here. Post, we can see better. So let's see some common use and some interesting use, in my opinion, in a project. Here I have hip-hop, let's say, kind of song. Let me show you with all bypass. This is the song. And I want to focus this brief part on the bass. So let me isolate it. I think it's a MIDI bass. It's a bit boring because it's only very, very low end, but it's not doing very special things. So let me show you how I want to use the Level-Or to make the bass crunchy, but also to get more interesting sound, let's say. So let me engage the Level-Or. So let's listen the sound and let's use to the crunch mode. As you can see, we have the red dot here for the crunch mode, or to level is green, exactly the same like the real deal, okay? Okay, so let me engage with the MKII, no tone. Let's go to crunch. Okay. We can also go fast. In this way, basically, I'm not cutting anything. So this is the original bass that has been crunched. And you can listen also these high frequencies. I want to avoid these high frequencies in the distortion side. So I prefer to go to slow. In this way, remember, I'm cutting the 8 kilohertz. Okay, I can push more. So before, can lower also. After. It's more interesting, and at the same time it's also a bit leveled, like the Level-Or. So you can always listen the bass, and it's also compressing a lot. But let's use also the tone. For example, let's push more, even if I'm here at the maximum, plus 12 dB, I want to crunch more it. So let's place the tone to pre, and let's now place it bypass to fast. Okay, let me push it. So it's distorting more the higher frequencies. And I can tame them going too slow. Before, after. Or I can also use, for example, the post tone. In this way, I can cut the high frequency. And here I can place the fast. I can lower a bit the output because otherwise I'm in clip. There are a lot of bass right now. Before, normal bass. After, it's also bigger. So now let's listen all together. Listen to the bass. Before, it's gone. way more interesting.
I stand alone.
So this is really cool to use on bass frequencies. Now let me show you another thing. In another project, let's use now on snare drum, a real drum actually. This is the snare with all bypassed. Let's use now the Level-Or. Okay, right now I'm in level, so like a limiter. Let's move the attack to preserve basically the attack. You can also use this approach, and it's better in my opinion, in parallel way. So using the blend here. Before, after, wow. Let's crunch it. It's aggressive. Okay, if you push a bit more the high frequencies into, so with the pre, you can preserve a bit. Before, after. Wow, I like it. And I'm also preserving the dry signal, otherwise okay, this is before. A boring snare, normal snare, but with a Level-Or. And I can also engage the wall drum bypass with the Level-Or. Wow. But I want to show you also another trick. When you have the bleed on the hi-hat, for example, and as you can listen, there are a lot of snares going on. Okay, so let me show you with the Level-Or. Let's engage it. So I use to level switch because I want to use the limiter to cut basically all these snares that are the dynamic part and keep the hi-hat consistent. So let me show you. You can listen before. A lot of snares going on. And if you go too slow, you cannot cut the snare fast. Yes. Bypassed. You can listen much more crash, hi-hat, and less snare. And you can also play basically with the tone here if you want more frequencies to the post. Before, you can listen basically only the snare. The hi-hat is very, very low in volume. Yeah, a bit too much, but yeah, now it's working. Very, very cool. And I want to show you also the same trick with the real one. So let me bypass, for example, this one. Let me engage my pipeline, which is, yes, the Level-Or. bypassed. As you can listen, I'm compressing the high dynamic part, which is basically the snare. And you can listen much more the hi-hat. Bypassed. Yeah, so this is the trick. It's very, very simple, and this unit together, of course, with the plugin, sounds really, really great. But one thing that the plugin is, of course, superior compared to the hardware is that, as you can see, unfortunately, I have only one unit, and I'm stuck to use this in mono, while the plugin can be used with several sentences in stereo or whatever kind of channel you want. So let's try the Level-Or right now to the full drum. Okay, let's engage the Level-Or. Oh! Oh, I love it. Okay, this is the limiter, very fast. Oh, it's aggressive. Oh my god, you can use this to create triggers. Oh, I like it. But I can also use it in parallel mode. Before, a bit engulfed. Wow, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's a great plugin, guys. Let's try right now to crunch. Always. Okay, it's different. It seems more aggressive, the MKII. So before, after, it's really aggressive. Let's lower a bit. Before, after. Very, very few amounts, as you can see. I'm 40% otherwise. It's super funny, guys. So guys, this is a plugin. It's a really, really interesting plugin, and of course is a really funny plugin. You can really use it in whatever kind of track you want to emphasize, you want to be creative, because mainly you will distort all the peaks and all the sound. But as you've seen, you can also use in creative way to save maybe your signals, so maybe to emphasize the cymbals and all the hi-hats and to avoid the bleeding, for example. So it's up to you guys. You have the link in the description. Check this Level-Or plugin, a really cool plugin in my opinion, made in collaboration again with Standard Audio, so the official plugin. Sounds great, looks great. You have to try out, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.